We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement. Warning, the following footage may cause irrational excitement.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Take 5 with Word to the Wise. I am your host, Terry Patrick, and I do have something really quick I'd like to be able to talk to you guys about. But before I jump into my Take 5 topic of the day, I just want to let you know that the Word to the Wise broadcast will be out on every single Wednesday. Word to the Wise. That's with the exclamation point. And the reason why I picked Wednesday is very, very instrumental. Put simply, it's the one day off that my father had over 40 years of working the same job. One day off a week, and that was Wednesday. My father was a gourmet chef of Italian cuisine. So sometimes on those Wednesdays, man, he can whip up us a beautiful meal. But if you want something quick, something delicious, couldn't beat the moms. You couldn't beat moms. So I do this podcast on Wednesday because that is in remembrance of my dad. May he rest in peace. And I launched the podcast on March 20th, which is the anniversary of my mother's death. And may she rest in peace and in heaven as well. I came today to talk to you guys about the power of cinema. There is a power in the movies, and I've always have been a movie buff, but there was a movie that I wanted to watch, and I didn't go to the theater to see it. I've been a little bit reluctant ever since the pandemic, I got to admit it. So I waited until it started streaming so that I could watch. But one of the reasons why I didn't go and check it out was because, man, bad reviews. And I've never been one to go by the reviews because my taste in movies can be a little bit weird. I like some strange stuff. I like movies that have a plot twist. I like movies that have a reoccurring characters, so I really don't pay a lot of attention to the reviews. But these reviews were video reviews. They were from people coming out the theater like, it was horrible. I can't believe what they did to my favorite classic. And the movie, and you guys are going to know exactly which movie that I'm talking about, and that is The Color Purple. The Color Purple, I love the original. The Color Purple was so good that many of the lines were quotable, made some people into stars. But with The Color Purple, the author, Toni Morrison, she has a niche. She has a talent. She just has a flair of storytelling and being able to have some character depth. And she did a great job, as she always does. Now, I will say that I don't believe there are any strong men in The Color Purple. It seemed like every man in The Color Purple, boy, it was a dirty rascal. And there were some inside the movie that, in order to be the villain, they had to be that. But with this one, I think people were thrown off a little bit because it was a musical. Did people not know that the new Color Purple was a musical? I mean, look at the casting that they did. You got your heavyweights, you got your up-and-comers, man, and you got your legends right there in the middle. You got Whoopi and David Allen Greer, and oh man, one of my favorites, and that's Louis Gossett Jr., the officer and the gentleman. These characters that the casting did, they did an absolutely great job. But I don't think people realized it was going to be a musical. Personally, I love musicals, grew up on them. I always have. I remember such classics as Fiddler on the Roof and Porgy and Bess, and who could forget The Wiz and Stormy Weather and West Side Story. The one that I remember, one of my first movies that I went to in a theater was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yes, some of my best characters and actors came from musicals. Paul Robeson and Danny Kaye. Danny Kaye was a quadruple threat. He could sing, he could dance, he could act, and he was a comedian. Danny Kaye. If you haven't watched a good musical in a while, go check out Hans Christian Andersen. I believe that people were fooled about The Color Purple because of this, a bold new take on a beloved classic. Let us know if that is something that happened to you and you did not know that The Color Purple was going to be a musical. I want to thank you guys for tuning in for another quick little episode of Word to the Wise, and it is going down. I mean, every single Wednesday, right here wherever you can find these messages. I appreciate you. I'm going to be doing this take 5, this little quick hitters, just to whet your appetite a little bit and let you know that I'm going to just keep holding it down. And until then, the next time, I want you guys to do me a quick favor, could you?
I hope you like the podcast and you really like the podcast.
Come on, be serious.
And you really like my podcast. Like and subscribe.